The Reluctant Prophet. The songs that changed everything. In 1963, Bob Dylan released his second album, The Freewheelin' Bob Dylan. It was one of the most important records of the decade. Alongside gentle love songs, it contained a series of powerful compositions about war, injustice, and fear, among them Blowin' in the Wind, A Hard Rain's a Gonna Fall, and Masters of War. Suddenly, the young man from Minnesota was not just a promising singer. He was a voice speaking directly to the conscience of a nation. A country in turmoil. To understand why these songs mattered so much, we must picture the America of the early 1960s. It was a country divided. In the South, black citizens were waging a courageous struggle for civil rights, facing violence and hatred as they demanded equality. At the same time, the Cold War between the United States and the Soviet Union threatened the whole world with nuclear destruction. Young people were frightened and angry, and they were searching for someone to put their feelings into words. The spokesman of a generation. Dylan's protest songs seemed to do exactly that. They were sung at marches and gatherings, they were carried across the country, they became anthems of the civil rights and peace movements. In 1963, Dylan performed near the site of the historic March on Washington, where Martin Luther King delivered his most famous speech. To many, he had become the voice of a generation and the spokesman of the movement. These were the titles the world wished to give him. The influence of those around him. Dylan did not develop his political awareness alone. He was deeply influenced by the people around him in New York, including his girlfriend at the time, an artist and activist whose commitment to social justice helped open his eyes to the great issues of the day. The folk community itself, with its long tradition of protest, provided both the audience and the encouragement for these songs. For a time, Dylan and the movement seemed perfectly matched. The prison of a label. And yet, almost as soon as he was crowned the leader of protest music, Dylan began to feel trapped. He had never asked to be a prophet or a political leader. He was an artist, restless and curious, and he refused to be told what he should write about. He grew uncomfortable with the crowds who expected him to speak for them, and with the critics who demanded that every new song carry a political message. Turning inward. By 1964, the change was already visible. On his album Another Side of Bob Dylan, he moved away from public issues towards more personal, poetic, and playful songs. Some of his admirers felt betrayed, as though he were abandoning an important cause. But Dylan was following his own path, as he always would. He later made his feelings clear. He did not want to be anyone's spokesman, and he distrusted those who offered easy answers and simple slogans. The meaning of the moment. The protest years lasted only a short time, but their effect was enormous. In those few years, Dylan proved that popular songs could deal with the deepest and most serious questions facing humanity. He raised the ambitions of songwriting forever. And then, characteristically, just as the world thought it understood him, he prepared to disappear from the role it had given him, and to reinvent himself completely.